But you didn't really come down and say charter school's good, charter school's bad. Just present the picture. I just wonder, do you have an opinion about charter schools or where public education is going?
Well, it's interesting because some people see the film and are calling it, advocacy for charter schools, and I really don't think that it is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really think that the story that we told, I really think that the story that we told was about the families and what they want, and the fact that there's some good schools and some really bad schools, so hopefully we can move towards having more good schools.
Right.
I could care less whether they're called charter or public. I do think that there's a trend in New York that the charter schools are, have been shown to be outperforming the zone schools by and large, and I think that's great. But again, I don't mind whether it's charter or public. I just think there's no reason that a school that's been open and consistently churning out 30% of kids at grade level, that means that 70% of kids at those schools are not at grade level. And to do that year after year, and every year they get 200, 500, 700 more kids, and you know for a fact that 70% of those hundreds of kids aren't going to be reading at grade level in fourth grade. I think that that's unconscionable, whether it's a charter school or a public school. And so parents can't close down schools, right? Like the government has to do that. So I think if the government sets high expectations for schools and gives parents the flexibility to choose what's best for their kids, it will make an enormous improvement to the system overall, but it takes both sides.
Do you feel that the union is taking the brunt of it, and fairly taking the brunt of the blame here, or do you think the fact that schools are underfunded is, have the unions been able to successfully exploit that and win sort of the hearts and minds of the public?
I think that the funding question is interesting because I personally think that teachers should get paid a lot more, at least the really good ones. And so when you talk about money, that would be, in my mind, a really good use of funds. But overall, I don't think that funding is the problem because of these schools the ones in the film that take the same amount of money and end up with sometimes double the results. Yeah. So it's not, in my mind, it's really not a funding issue. And I think, it's interesting because sort of the union lines tend to be, we need smaller class sizes and more money. And that's if you think about it, the purpose of the union is to support their teachers, right? Those are their constituency. And so smaller class size would mean more teachers, right? And more money would support more teachers. So, in my mind, a better use of money would be to have the same because it's been proven that class size is not an effective measure of a student's success. It's the teacher quality. So why worry about class size? Why not get more money to pay fewer, better teachers? For the last 30 years, since the 70s, we're paying 400% more for our public education system with little to no improvement. So why is that? I think it's because the money is not being allocated effectively.